Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pixie Love. Today we're doing some r/insane parents. Oh, you know how I feel about insane parents. If you watched my last POS video, it was mostly insane parents. So hopefully this is not as bad as that episode. But let's get into some entitled crazy overbearing parenthood. Freshly cut switches, $1 each. Deleafing, 50 cents extra. For parents with really bad kids, buy two and get one free. Trying to make America great again. Yes, because America needs to go back to beating their children. Because people think the problem, they think the problem is the kids nowadays. That's what's wrong with the world. The teenagers, they somehow fucked up the whole world, not the millennials and the generation before that and the generation before that. No, it's the teenagers. That's what's wrong with the world right now, is the teenagers. I just love how people think that what's wrong with America somehow is the kids. Even though the kids can't make the laws, the kids aren't doing anything. But the problem with America is you can't beat your kids, apparently. Can I say something at risk of pissing you off? As your father, I feel like I have a responsibility to tell you how I feel. I love you above all things but God. I can't keep my mouth shut I can keep my mouth shut if that's what you want me to. I don't understand that, loving God more than you love your children. I really don't understand that, but okay, let's keep going. What's up? Homosexuality is a mortal sin, not a venial sin at all. It completely cuts you off from Christ. You cannot be in the state of grace if you are guilty of it. It's plainly in the Bible more than 12 times. I can cite every passage if you like. You can't hate the sinner, of course. Hatred is awful, but supporting the sin is being guilty of the very sin itself. I love every child of the Lord, and I pray every day for the pardon of their sins. I get scared for the blemishes of your soul when you support this. Understand that I wouldn't love you any less ever, even if you murdered dozens of people. I promise to never mention this again. Thank you for allowing me this time. I adore you, sweetheart. Please don't get angry with me. You don't have to say anything. Just don't get angry. Where in the Bible does it say that if you commit a certain sin, you're completely cut off from Christ? Because I'm pretty sure it says all you have to do is accept Jesus Christ into your life as your Lord and Savior, and you will get into heaven. So that's what I was always told. Now, I could be wrong. I didn't fully read the Bible, but that's what I remember being preached to. But then in the same breath, they're like, if you do this sin, you're a man. So anyway. So this is in response to the child supporting Pride Month. I don't think the child is a part of the LGBTQ. Well, I don't think the child is a part of the LGBTQ plus community. But even if they were, it doesn't matter. So it's just, don't understand. I don't understand why they care so much about someone else's life. Why do you care so much about my soul and my internal damnation? Why the fuck do you give a fuck? I get this is your child, but at the end as long as you're doing right by your Lord, leave me the fuck out of it. Mind your fucking business. My soul and where it ends up has nothing to do with you. You're not gonna go to hell if you have a gay child. Okay, so some context for this text exchange. They were on the phone with their mother, and their mother was like, oh, we ran out of gas. And so they were like, oh, where are you? And the mother was like, fine, whatever, I'll call someone else. So this is what she had to say in response to that. I mean, call someone else, but God forbid I asked where your location is so I can come help. No, UB was acting like I was bothering you. Bet you ran out of gas again, and I help or anything you need help with no matter what. And how? I just woke up and I was asking where it was at. Why would I act like you were bothering me? That would just be mean. You just made that up in your head. We're at his fucking daycare. What's the address? Go to Dairy Bar and take a right. This sounds like my mother, kinda. Oh my God. Parents act like you have to act like they're fucking perfect and you always want to talk to them and their shit don't stink. Ugh. Like, it's 8:30 in the morning. They probably just woke up, like they said. They're tired, but they're trying to figure out where you are so they can come and help you, and you hang up on them? Like, I wouldn't have texted. I would have been like, okay, call someone fucking else, and I wouldn't have responded. That's all I would have said. I was like, okay, call somebody else, bye, and go back to fucking sleep, and I would sleep like a fucking baby. Because I don't let my mom do her manipulative shit with me. I'm like, we're not playing this game. You want to throw a hissy fit like a child, then I'm going to ignore you. Because you're not a child, you're a grown woman. If one needs to beat their child to get their kids to obey, that person needs better parenting skills. I used a belt and switches on two of my children and was beating them. Was I beating them? I think not. I was disciplining them out of love. The same thing my mother did for me. I turned out just fine. My children turned out just fine. Never in trouble, and one has a master's degree and the other one has a bachelor's degree. A whooping never hurt anyone. Actually is something that is actually is something that some of these kids need today. Oh, my parenting skills are just fine. Just because we survived the trauma of being beaten by our parents doesn't mean we turned out just fine. And just because beating someone gets a point across and just because beating someone gets a point across doesn't mean there isn't a better way. I should also add, I don't think you did that makes you a bad. I should also add, just because you did it doesn't make you a bad person. It's just an outdated method that needs to go away. I was never beaten. Well, maybe one time when I got caught stealing, but I deserved every bit of it. And I was just fine. But each to his own. But for me, in my house, you will get a whooping. I don't care what anyone says. That's what these bad kids are running around now. Because their parents can't give them the spanking that they need because people always want to complain and say that they were beaten. Better be glad my kids are grown because I couldn't care less what anyone thinks of my form of discipline. I'm done. Imagine going so hard about abusing your children. I'm going to say this, and I've said it before and it pissed people off. I think if you use whoopings as a form of discipline, you are a lazy parent. It can be a form of discipline. I don't agree with that form of discipline. It comes as a laziness and frustration. You don't have the patience to do the longer way of disciplining that takes patience and practice. So you hit your kid as a way to get your point across. So you don't have the patience to actually properly discipline your kid. That's what it means to me, which means you're lazy if you don't have the patience and the time to properly discipline your kid, so you beat them to get them to listen to you. I said it. No one's ready for that fucking conversation, but I fucking said it. You're lazy and you don't have the fucking patience. Sue me, bitch. I've had multiple conversations on Instagram, on my Facebook, and I'm just like, how do you sound being glad that you're gonna be beating your kids? Like, how did that sound? I don't understand. I will never understand that. And like, people are like, well, you don't have kids, you don't understand. I don't need to have kids to understand what you're doing is wrong. I don't. Just because someone doesn't have kids doesn't mean they don't know how to parent. I've never had to do it. I understand it's hard, but you chose to be a parent. You have to do the hard things to raise your kid properly. No one else forced you to become a parent. Like, you're the parent. You had a child. Now you have to sit there and do everything you can to get this child to the next phase in life. And do you think beating your kid is going to get them to the next phase of life? My 13-year-old son was robbed of his red iPhone SE 2020 last night in a park adjacent to blank 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 at approximately 7:45 to 8 p.m. The kid was roughly about 4 or 5 years old and picked up my son's phone from the floor where he was playing. When my son asked for him to return his phone, a long blonde-haired woman in her 20s wearing a red top and dark jeans, believed to be his mom, decided to shout at my son, take the child and my son's phone into a white and red minivan and drove off. I seriously suggest that the female read this post and make contact with the and that she makes contact with the spot page and get in touch with me in order to return the phone as your vehicle is registered was clocked. A picture was taken and details passed to the police. I'd rather this be dealt with without the police involvement in a civil way. Oh my God. That's like definitely like entitled parents. Like your son takes someone's phone and you decide to just yell at the kid and take Bro. See, here's the thing. People want to say these badass kids nowadays. How do you think these kids got bad? Because they have parents like this who allow them to get away with shit. This woman probably don't have any form of discipline. She just lets her child do whatever the fuck he wants. Bro. Whew. This mother better than me. I would definitely I would definitely want the police to get involved. That's just me. You break the law, bitch, I'm getting the police involved. Try me. I'm not doing this a civil way. You weren't civil when you stole my kids' phones. Why do I have to be civil? Guys, I just want to get clean and sober. I want my daughter home. What you fail to realize is that I function to be a good mom and still do meth. It never made me a bad mother. I changed diapers, made bottles, did nap time. Who is the government to tell us what we can and cannot do? The world is cold and sick. Mommy just wants you home. Use a comma, please, or a period. I should not have to choose between my child and drugs. That's childish. Everyone keeps telling me to grow up and change. How about y'all grow up and change? I haven't slept in days now. Everyone wants to be on bullshit. I have 4 months left to get my child back. And let me tell you, I will. And I will prove to you that I can do it while on meth. Anything is possible. I just can't give up. There is nothing mommy can't do. I love you, baby girl. Apparently, mama can't give up meth. And this contradicts itself because you say you want to get clean and sober, but yet you say you want to get your child back while you're still doing your meth. Oh, okay. I'm going to slightly play devil advocate. Even if you were still a good mother while you were doing meth, while you're doing meth when you have your children, you are still going to be impaired. Like, you're not going to be at your fullest sense. So if you think you're being a good mother while you're on meth, imagine the type of mother you would be if you weren't impaired by drugs. If you think you're a good mother then, holy hell, you would be an amazing mother. Just think about that. But on that note, I think that's all we have time for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I kind of liked this episode of Insane Parents. It wasn't like too annoying. It wasn't like too like, okay, your parents really not that insane. I actually think the child a little entitled. It was all around like, yeah, no, these people are insane. But not crazy, not like the POS video. This person probably should be on I Am a Total POS. But I enjoyed this, so if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you guys like down below or leave a comment. Tell me what you liked most about this video. If you want to hear more of my voice, you guys can check out more of my videos and also hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I mean, I want to make money like everyone else does, so I want to get to at least 1,000 subscribers. Let me know if there's any celebrities you guys want me to try, what I should do next. Definitely think I'll have a Fat Logic video out next time. I think this is the longest I went without doing a Fat Logic video. It's like normally every other video is Fat Logic, but I'm trying not to oversaturate it. So definitely have a Fat Logic video out tomorrow. And with that being said, have a good night. Bye bye.